So we're about 5 months away from Minecraft 1.21 releasing, and so far we've had a decent amount of features that were announced. So today I want to read through an article and give you my reaction on some of the features that have been announced so far. So this article is written by, and pardon me if I mess up the name, Rajika Traver, as of November 29th, 2023. So we're a few months past this, but I don't think anything major has been announced since then. So, I'm going to paraphrase some of it, I'm going to read line for line some of it, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of some of the features and how I feel about them. So we're going to start off with the release date. It's a June 2024 is the expected release date, and if we scroll down here, she gives you a good breakdown of the last recent updates and when they have been released, most of them around June 7th to June 8th, with the exception of 1.18, which was delayed a little bit. Makes sense considering that was probably the biggest update out of these four. As for the name of the update, it has not been revealed yet. Usually that's like the last thing that's ever announced. They give you all the features and everything that's coming in the update, and then they tell you the name about a week or two before. So let's go on to the new mobs that are coming into 1.21, and we're going to first start off with the Breeze. Now we're going to get a little bit ahead of ourselves because it's part of a new structure that we'll talk about later, but the Breeze itself is a new hostile mob that's found in the Trial Chambers, which is our newest structure, and rather than damaging the player, they're more going to move them around and use a wind attack to push things around the entire chamber. So she writes, the Breeze will have a distinctive attack called the Wind Charge, which is a unique range attack that will not deal damage when it bursts and blow things away, but it will damage anything that it collides directly with. When that happens, it will create a wind burst, knocking back entities several blocks. So doesn't seem like it's necessarily outputting damage, but whatever it collides with will do damage. We need to definitely see more gameplay of this, but here is a screenshot that they have of the Breeze in the new Trial Chambers. You can see some of the other new features if you have a keen eye. So that is our one hostile mob, part of a bigger section of the update that we'll get into later. Now, for one of my favorite additions to 121 so far is the Armadillo, which will join the Breeze as new mob additions. So the Armadillo won the 2023 mob vote over the Crab and the Penguin. I think all three would have been solid additions into the game, but I think the Armadillo has the best utility out of all of them. So the Armadillos will be found in the Savannah biome, which is huge considering that there is no reason to go there unless you're getting acacia wood, and why would you even get acacia wood at that? So this will give a little bit more life and a little more reason to live in the Savannah biome. There's definitely a mob or two missing from the Savannah biome, but the Armadillo is a good start. And the best feature of all is the fact that when you kill it, it'll drop an item called the Scoot, and you can use that to craft armor for your tamed wolf. Armor for wolves have been asked for years in Minecraft. I've been playing since about 2013, and as far as I can remember, there's always been people wanting wolf armor, so this is a huge step in the right direction. She then goes on to speculate that ducks may also be in there, but I'm not going to say yay or nay on that just because it's purely speculation, so my honest reaction to that is if it happens, great. If not, I'm not expecting it. Alright, we're going to talk about one of my least favorite things, which is the fact that there are no new biomes announced. Usually in every major update, there's a biome to some extent, and there is no biome announced yet. I understand that the overworld is starting to get a little bit crowded with the number of biomes and the scale of these biomes. Sometimes you might not even find them in your world unless you travel 20,000 blocks away. But the overworld is not the only dimension that exists. We have the Nether, which got some new additions a while back, and we have the End, which hasn't gotten really anything. So Mojang, I challenge you, bring in a new biome for 1.21, and it could be a small Nether biome or it could be a small End biome. One of the reasons I think new biomes are important is the fact that these updates, like everything we've read so far, a new player has the potential to miss all of these new features. The Breeze, if you don't find a Trial Chamber, you're going to miss. The Armadillo, you're going to miss. Some of the other things that we're going to mention down below, you may never see unless you are in the know. With new biomes, it's kind of one of those things where new and returning players especially, it's a really obvious thing for you to see when you're starting a world again. It gives the players a way to actually see the changes that are being made instead of having to go and find them. So I really hope that Minecraft does the right thing and adds in a new biome because I think we're due for one. So we're going to move on to the biggest feature in this update and the thing that they are the most proud of, which is the Trial Chambers. So the Trial Chambers are a procedurally generated structure that's going to be found underground. You can easily find Trial Chambers while exploring in the deep slate layers due to the fact that they are relatively common. So I'm going to stop right there. I love structures in Minecraft because a lot of them are hard to find. I don't love the fact that these are going to be really easy to find. I think that makes it less fun because finding a rare structure in Minecraft is very exciting because you don't get to see it that often. Whatever that rare structure is for you, I know for me, I've never found natural generated bone blocks in the overworld. Never found it. I would love to one day, but I never do. Jungle temples, it might seem crazy to say that, but I never really find jungle temples. And even though they're terrible, I have a lot of fun and get a little bit of excitement when I find them because I just never see them. So the fact that the trial chambers are going to be relatively easy to find kind of waters it down for me a little bit. We'll see what the rate of their generation is when it comes out. But for now, I don't really love the fact that they're going to be incredibly easy to find. So while you explore the trial chambers, you'll find things like traps, supply and reward chests, which are just like any other generated structure. And they're very proud on the fact that you'll never find two identical chambers, which I think is a little bit of an oversold idea. I mean, how many times do you find the same mine shaft? How many times do you find the same stronghold? Like, there are a lot of these procedurally generated structures, aside from things like pillager towers and desert wells and desert temples and jungle temples. Like, obviously those are going to be the same, but these like procedurally generated structures, they're never really the same anyway. So to advertise that as like a crazy cool thing, it's like, that's not anything new to us. Another thing that they're selling it on is the fact that there's all these new blocks, which in a month's time after it's released won't even really be new. But you can kind of see from this screenshot a lot of the new blocks, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's a cool, unique place, a lot of copper, a lot of tough block, so it's okay so far. And with addition to the trial chambers comes kind of the main feature is the trial spawner. Now I'm going to read pretty much word for word, a little bit of paraphrasing, so you get the full understanding of what the trial spawner really is. So the trial spawner is a special spawner that will adapt to the number of players that join the battle in the trial chambers. It spawns a limited number of mobs, unlike the regular monster spawners. The mobs that the trial spawners spawn are classified into 3 categories, kind of technically 4 when we read down below. Every trial chamber will spawn mobs from all 3 categories and only 1 mob per category. The blocks that spawn around the spawner indicate what type of mob will come from it. With that said, below are the mobs that will spawn. So it's 3 categories, but she kind of bolds out 4 of them. So we have the melee, which is zombies, husks, slimes, and then to the right you'll see their associated blocks. We have small melee, which is silverfish, baby zombie, spider, cave spider. Ranged, which I'm the most disappointed in, which is stray, skeleton, and skeleton with poison tipped arrow. And then finally we have the breeze. She goes on to say that once you defeat the mobs, the spawner goes into a cooldown state, which lasts 30 minutes and is indicated by smoke particles. So you can return to the spawner once the cooldown is complete and do it all over again, it seems. They advertise that you'll get some awesome loot and cool rewards for defeating it. My concern with that is we're gonna have to see what it is, because if it's diamonds, gold, emeralds, ancient debris, you know, netherite scraps, like that stuff really isn't that valuable to players anymore. We've gotten good at making farms and going mining and doing all of these things to aid us in getting those resources so we can build. One of the things that I would like to see are unique items that are more collectible and maybe don't have a trading purpose or an armor purpose, but are just cool things to have in your base. For example, I love the armor trims. I think that was one of the best things that Minecraft has added as of late, because you're going to get a trim set that you like for your armor, and then there's still some fun in collecting the other ones that you don't have, and maybe making other armor sets or just collecting them just to have them. I think that was an awesome addition that they added in the Trails and Tales update, and I'd like to see them do something like that with the trial chambers, because we need more rewards in Minecraft outside of ores and gems and that kind of thing. So last, for the trial section of the update, she talks about a trial key, which the only information we have on that is where to be found in chests and in decorated pots. Not much is known about this, but here is the trial key if you want to see what it looks like. It looks pretty cool, but we need to know the purpose behind it. As with a lot of things in this update, we don't really know the full depth or scale to these things that are going to be added, so take it with a grain of salt. I know it sounds like I'm being a little hypercritical. Here's a screenshot of the trial spawners, and same thing with the trial key. You know, I'm a little bit critical, but I do want to see what more comes with the update, because like I said, we are still 5 months away, so there's a lot of information to still be revealed. Moving on to probably my favorite addition to the update, which is no surprise, the addition of copper and tough block variants. I'm not going to read off every list because there's a ton of blocks that are getting added, but I'll put a zoomed in screenshot up on screen now so you can read through all the different chiseled and wall and polished variants of all of these blocks. And here is a screenshot of it. It looks awesome. I'm really hyped for this. Let's start with the tough blocks. I know I complain a lot in Minecraft about like there's too much gray and there's too much brown and there's not enough color. We need variety. Well, they added more gray and I'm very excited for it. I think this will give people a lot of opportunity to build within the medieval, within the rustic, within the Viking kind of aesthetic, and really just increase people's building capabilities. And it gives tough block more of a purpose, and I love that. So we like seeing blocks that exist in Minecraft getting a deeper purpose, and that couldn't be said more true than with the copper block variants. So as you can see, we have now chiseled copper, copper grate, which I believe is this thing right down below here, but we can also see the doors, the trapdoors, and then these blocks right above here, and those blocks are copper bulbs. Now these will be another light source for the player, and these are a pretty unique one, probably the most unique that we have. First things first is they are redstone powered. Being that it is copper, it will oxidize over time. What that oxidation means a lower light level. My initial thoughts on this are it's a cool feature. I just wish we had more control over the light level, because I like what they're trying to do with it, but if I'm building in more of a steampunk type build, I'm going to want that fully oxidized copper at some points, and I may not want less light level out of it. But I still think it's cool nonetheless, and I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I did read somewhere that when you turn a redstone signal on, it will turn on the copper bulb, and even if you destroy the redstone signal, you still need to send another one to shut it off. So maybe some cool redstone things down the line with that, I'm not really sure, but it's an interesting, unique feature that I don't think any other block has. So continuing on from the copper and tough blocks, we have what is more than likely one of the larger additions that people are very excited for, which this is the crafter. Now the crafter is similar to a crafting table in the sense it allows you to craft things, although with the crafter, as you can see in this screenshot here, you have the ability to enable and disable certain slots so that the crafter will only make one item for you. Now, initially I thought this was useless until I talked to some of my server members, and they brought up the fact that with automatic farms, you can have it craft items into blocks and vice versa, and save you some time in the conversion process. A quick example of this is in an iron farm. When you have a ton of iron, it stacks in ingots. Well, the crafter, you could make a redstone contraption to where it automatically converts it into blocks for you to save on some inventory space. So a cool feature. I'm not much of a redstone guy, but I think it's cool, and it's something that everybody has been asking for a long time now. And it's nice to see that Mojang listens to their community. So I'm not super stoked for the crafter, but I know a lot of people are, and I don't think it's a bad feature necessarily. It's just not something I probably will take a huge advantage of. And the last thing she talks about is a Minecraft Marketplace pass for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. I don't think it's anything that they're advertising necessarily. It looks to be just something that people have seen within code. So who knows about the Minecraft Marketplace pass? If you're excited for that, then good for you. But I don't think anybody's really clamoring to get a subscription service out of the next Minecraft update. So we'll scroll to the top here where she gives us a quick summary. So in short, she summarizes that the release date and name of 121 is not certain, but we do know the update is related to combat and tinkering. New mobs include the breeze and the armadillo, with no new biomes being revealed yet. The new features include trial chambers, trial spawners, copper and tough blocks, the crafter, and the trial key item, which again is something we have no knowledge of its use. All in all, if I had to give this update a rating out of 10 for how excited I am, I'd probably say a 4, and that sounds harsh, but like I said, we still have months to go and a lot of time left to learn some of these features. Things like the trial chambers just really don't excite me. I don't see a ton of purpose for it yet. Maybe they'll surprise me and change it up. The new copper and tough blocks I'm super excited for, and then the mobs as well will be a good addition. Crafter will be a cool thing too for a lot of people. Overall, I think they're missing a really big key addition to the game. Whatever that is, hopefully Minecraft 121 turns out to be really awesome and in-depth. I know it's got a stiff competition with the last 4 major updates. I'm hopeful, and I think they'll be able to turn it around, being as we still have 5 months to go. So with that being said, if you're excited for Minecraft 121 and you want to see some more videos on this update, stick around as I'll be doing some update videos as we get more information. If you want to see some survival Minecraft Let's Play, I have a series on my channel that you can check out. If you enjoyed this video, definitely consider subscribing. If you're a returning viewer, I say thank you. And with all of that, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.